It's a little delay. Oh, it gave me an error message. What the hell's going on? Oh, that gave me an error. All right. I think we're live. Boom, baby, we're live, I think. Okay, we got an error message on the back end here of StreamYard, but I think we're live. Guys, just put a 1 in the chat real quick. We're live. First time ever getting an error message like this from StreamYard. But I think we are live. I see myself. Okay, we are live. Cool. Okay, let's rock and roll. Sorry about that, guys. Boom, baby, we're live. Welcome to Interview with a Man, episode 710, where I'm here with my good friend Ryan from the YouTube channel Elevate Cyber, and we're going to talk to you about getting a remote position that pays you 6 figures. No, this is not hype. No, this is not BS. This is the real deal. But before we get going, don't forget December 28th is right around the corner. We got Body Language Mastery 4.0 come to you. My name is Jonathan, and I used to be just like you. I was just an average guy that wanted to date a few nice women so I could find what I liked and just move on with my life. I numbed myself with distractions so I could ease the pain. But in reality, it really never went away. Without any help, it's just not that easy. And even like you, I looked for answers online, but the results were hard to find.
If you sun your balls, there is a study. It's an older
3-pack for $29.95. Famous Bad Boy series Bond 2. Ladies find this pleasing.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
I didn't want to take sides in some stupid online argument. I wanted results, and after years of failure, I found the one secret thing that changed it all.
Welcome aboard.
After learning this skill, my eyes were open to a whole new secret world that only a few people will ever see. I went from having no confidence to having pure, undeniable proof that I could find women anywhere in the world that were totally into me. So of course, naturally, I became more confident. I went from a confused and lonely guy to a man with so many options that I literally cannot date them all.
See what you just saw? It may look like a commercial, but that is my reality. I see a world that nobody can see through the secrets of understanding body language. Now ask yourself a question. How long are you going to wait and go through those lonely nights, endless rejections, and feeling insignificant until you decide to take action and change your life today? I've been doing this since 2019, and I have thousands of men that have changed their lives from Tokyo to Tampa, from Chicago to Saigon. There's only one name in the game, and that's me, MLD. Join us in the Masculine Empowerment Network, and we'll change your life today.
If you're not on the waiting list right now, I'm telling you, you've got to get on. There's 106 brand new people on the waiting list. That is a record for the short amount of time that we've been running this promotion. Guys, stop what you're doing right now. Go to masculineempowermentnetwork.com. Put your best email address in right here. Okay, just literally on this little email address box, and you will be locked and loaded to get in there. And again, real quick, before we go out, we're going to show you real quick what you'll be getting as you sign up for this, okay? And you will be getting access to all of this and more, okay? So you'll be getting access to the course, Body Language Mastery 4.0, which is a video trading guide that's going to allow you to read a woman's body language and know if she's attracted to you, so you can find women that are interested in you, and you can identify women who are not interested in you, that are just using you for something, and get them out of your life with the quickness, okay? 20 webinars with experts in money, muscles, game, and frame. We got our money expert here on the panel today. You get access to 200 hours of past webinars, and all webinars are recorded, edited, and stored in the database for later replay watching. Okay. Number 4, you get a secured Telegram chat as well upon signing up immediately. And 3, end of the month checkup calls with me and my team. You get direct interaction with me, MLD, and all of the mentors and so much more. And on top of that, okay, here's also what you get. This is the schedule. We got 2 more people on there. It's going to be filling out soon. The 9th, Paul from Apex Mindset is going to be talking about sex espionage, how to basically have sex with almost any girl you want. And then our guest today, Elevate Cyber, is on Monday, January 15th, 9 a.m. Elevate Cyber to talk about 6-figure remote cybersecurity job in 8 months. Okay, college is a scam. Don't go. They're just going to tell you you're terrible for being a straight male, and then you're going to be indoctrinated, and you're going to have a ton of debt, and you're going to come out and have a job paying you $14 an hour with $50,000 of student loan debt. Don't do that. Do not do that. Okay. Join us in the Masculine Empowerment Network, and we will change your life today. I've got a great friend with me here today, my friend Ryan from Elevate Cyber. Ryan, I'm going to ask you the most important question of the entire show before we get going. Am I a grifter and a scam artist? And is this just a bunch of bullshit that doesn't work?
Well, let me just say, I was in Japan for the first time a few months ago, and I was blown away. Everything you're saying is so accurate in terms of everywhere I looked, there was like so many hot women. And I think on my entire trip of being there 10 days, I might've seen one fat girl. So I'll just start off with that. And secondly, yeah, I mean, I got a ton of value, and I definitely wouldn't be here today in the same position if I didn't go through the training with, I guess it was called Body Language Mastery back when I joined in 2019. Yeah, I got a ton of value from that. And everyone that knew me back then and knows me today will say that I changed so much just from my energy, how I carry myself. And that translated into all areas of life, not just women, but even, I would say, advancing my own career and pretty much every area of life.
Let's talk about this real quick. When you joined, you want to just kind of give like a before where you joined, and you joined in, I believe it was Q2 2019.
Q3. Yep.
Q3 2019. You're part of the graduating class. Mm-hmm. Talk and tell everybody who you were then and then who you are now.
Yeah. So when I first started watching you, I remember watching the Rule Zero podcast back in the day, and I was like, "Who is this guy wearing the Versace robe and just shit talking a bunch of people on Twitch?" You were on like the Raj Patel show, I remember, and I was like, at the time, I was really struggling with approach anxiety. I know that probably a lot of people watching are in a similar spot where you feel like, man, I really just wish I could even get started. It's like you want to start talking to girls, you want to meet girls, you want to improve your dating life, but you're struggling with some kind of area, probably approach anxiety, maybe something else. I remember reading a book at the time. I had a neighbor because I was living in a high rise, and there's a neighbor that was very successful. He was an entrepreneur, and he was like, "Hey, I want you to read this book." So I read it. And one of the things they were talking about was the value of finding a network, the value of surrounding yourself with other people that are on the same journey. And at the time I was watching a lot of MLD's content, and I was like, well, he has this network that he's been talking about, the Body Language Mastery course. I was like, you know what? I'm going to join this, even though at the time it was the most money I ever spent to join any kind of training. So that was what really pushed me over the edge. I was like, what's the worst thing that could happen? This could be a really good step in the right direction. And so I joined that training, and I met so many people that brought tremendous value to my life as well. But just being in that environment, I would say it was the first step to making a lot of changes in my life. And so I would really pinpoint that as the moment that I really started to shift my mindset and really start that cascading effect of self-development.
Yeah. And then fast forward to like where you are now. So then it was kind of hard for you to talk to girls, hard to really get the dating life that you want.
Yeah, so I was really struggling with dating before that. I was struggling with confidence in general in all areas of life. So I remember when I joined that, I was making, I was making about 80,000 a year. Now fast forward to today, I'm making 200,000 a year from my 9 to 5. In terms of dating, I was struggling with approach anxiety. And then I remember I end up, let's just say that I end up hooking up with so many girls that I put that on the back burner for a while. So that was not an issue whatsoever after the training. And yeah, those were the main areas. I didn't have a business, and then I started a business. So a lot of the stuff that was holding me back before in all areas of life, we really were able to tackle everything. And the hypnosis was a huge part of it as well. But yeah, that's kind of where I was before and where I am now.
Would you agree with me when I say, like, once you, because I think every guy has a woman problem in their life. Every guy does, right? And once you like concretely saw what I taught in body language mastery, and then followed up with like how to manage your relationships, how to be a leader, how to have frame, how to have a solid inner game. After you mastered dating, did you kind of get bored with it and you're like, you know what, now I want to do something bigger with my life. I want to allocate my time to something more beneficial to me?
Yeah, exactly. I think that at first it's something that you really need to conquer, something you really need to solve. But once you've kind of understood why you find some success in that area, and you understand how you could duplicate that success, then you move to the other areas, because there's probably a lot of areas that you want to get to, but you know that you can't, because like the woman problem is in your way, and you need to solve that first. So for me, solving that problem was the first step to being able to free myself up to focus on other areas.
Right. And then you started learning how to do digital marketing. And then you started your YouTube channel, and your YouTube channel isn't some little rinky dink thing. Like, you have 18,000 subscribers, right?
Yep.
And when did you start this?
It was June 2020.
Wow. So here we are, almost, coming up on your 4th year, and teaching people how to get jobs in cybersecurity. Because like a lot of these things, they just teach you like how to code, how to be a pen tester, get your certifications, whatever the case may be. But a lot of people don't teach you how to like get a job and aggressively negotiate to make a lot of money on top of that, right? So you do all of that, and then you've monetized this. If you want to give if you just want to give like a range, like what have you done with your business? Just say, for example, this year, like a range, would you been able to pull in?
The revenue wise?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this year, I think it's about 120,000. Yeah. 120,000. Yeah.
So then your main job at cybersecurity, you're making 210. And then with your side hustle, you made 120. So you're about 330.
Yeah. 320, 330, something like that. Yeah.
And how old are you?
I just turned 31.
Fucking gonna give you one of these. Fantastic. Fantastic, man. So, I mean, I just think, you're one of the many successful people that came through. Like, you were in there with Myron Gaines before Myron Gaines was actually Myron Gaines.
I met him before Fit, in person too. Yeah.
Yeah. And when we had the meetup in Phoenix.
That's right. Yep.
Man, I'm just so happy for you, dude. I'm so happy. And this is just like, you're just going to continue to grow and level up. And you have like you have a pretty good, female situation going on as well, right?
Yep.
And are you still with that same girl, or?
Yeah, I'm still with her. Yep.
Okay, cool. And then everything, you got it. You're living the dream.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you want to talk about. I don't know if you want to talk in detail about it, but she's probably.
Yeah. So no. Yeah, that was one of the big issues before. Is I mean, I couldn't imagine doing this back before I joined your training, right? Just to talk again about before and after, right? But now, I have a girl basically that's completely in my frame. She knows that I see other girls, and she's okay with that. She accepts that. And I mean, reluctantly so, right? They would prefer to have you locked down all to themselves, right? But that is what's possible. Like when you develop yourself and you're a high value guy, and they know that you're not easily replaceable, then yeah, you're able to do that. And just for context for you guys, I've been dating this girl since January 2021. And from the jump, I established that frame. So from the moment that she even brought up a relationship, I made that clear, and I've had that ever since. So it's been very good because, I've had the freedom and flexibility, which to me, one of the most important things, and this is why I really like cybersecurity as a career, is the freedom and flexibility, right? The freedom to work remotely, the freedom to have a girlfriend and still be able to have a dating life outside of that. So yeah, freedom to me is the thing that I value most. So I would highly recommend the Masculine Empowerment Network to learn how to live very freely. That is one thing that I wouldn't have thought it was possible before I joined the network, certainly. So
great stuff, man. And again, I think, doesn't that give you, like, once she agreed to this, being a part of this, didn't that give you like just an irrefutable confidence that like you're like, God damn, like, all right, I really am the fucking man.
Yeah. And I think that even the confidence that I got from Masculine Empowerment Network, that reinforced everything, right? Because that gave me the initial confidence. And then because she saw that confidence in me, she was like, okay, well, I either have to comply or he's just going to move on, right? So that is the thing as well. It's like, if you have that confidence, then it's even easier to get what you want in the situation, right?
I love it. So let's talk about the success you've been having with, obviously your career. I mean, even if you turned off your YouTube channel and you just sailed off in the sunlight and just did your career, like, 200K is, you're just getting started in cybersecurity. Like, they have salaries upwards of like $500,000 a year, right?
Oh yeah, especially if you go into some of those upper level management positions, you can definitely go well above where I'm at right now.
Man, that's amazing. And how many people have you educated and employed now in this short time that you've been doing this?
Yeah, so just for context for everyone, we started this whole operation in December of 2021, but the bulk of the students that joined in the summer of this past year. So around May, June this year. So most of them have not been in the program for 8 months yet. Just going back to the title of my presentation, right? Getting a cybersecurity job in 8 months. So most people have not reached that point, but even despite that, we've had about 6 people get jobs already in the field.
Wow. What are the average salaries on those jobs?
Around 80,000.
Starting.
Yeah, that's the thing. Starting salary, 80,000. Yeah.
Wow. And are they all remote?
Yeah, most of them are remote. About, I think half of them are remote, half of them are in person for now, but that's easily those people that are working in an office now, within a year or so, they're going to be remote as well.
Yeah. And I mean, in this economy too, like 80,000 remote, even if it's not remote, I mean, like, money, like that's great money. Let's not try to downplay that at all. People are out here suffering in this economy. Now, let me ask you something, because I constantly tell people, like, the only people truly suffering in this economy right now are people who have like kind of been, dragging ass in life. But have you felt any pain during this economic recession or downturn at all?
Let me just say, there's a big tech layoff thing this past year, right? That was like a big thing in the news. Let me just say, I don't know a single person in cybersecurity that got laid off. Everyone that got laid off that I know of was in software development and IT. But at least from my company and all the people that I personally know, none of them got laid off. So I'll say that. It's very good for job security.
Let's talk about what is cybersecurity, because I think a lot of people hear that word, they hear like cybersecurity and they're like, oh, like what the fuck is cybersecurity? I don't know if I can do this. Like, why don't you just give it a breakdown for the people watching at home?
Yeah, so I would say if you want to understand cybersecurity, just think about all the devices that you have, right? Think about all the electronics that you could possibly imagine. And if you really try to do this, there's a lot more than you would initially think, right? You got your phone, your computer, things like that. But even your thermostat, like your car, like everything involving technology can potentially be hacked. The role of cybersecurity is, how can we protect those things? So there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. So just like, I like to give the doctor analogy on this, because if you want to become a doctor, that's a very broad thing, right? There's so many different doctors. You got like brain surgeons, you got like foot doctors, you got like every aspect of the body. Well, same thing with cybersecurity, because if you think about how many things can be hacked, it's pretty much everything. So you have people that specialize in different areas. Me personally, I work on the offensive side. So proactively, I try to hack into my company so that they can identify where their weak points are and they can become more secure. But there's some people that will work on the defensive side and they respond to cyber attacks and try to really secure everything in that way. So there's so many things that you can do within this area. With my training, what we focus on is, okay, there's a million things that you could learn, but what if we distill it down to the essentials that you need to know to land that first job? Because that is the most difficult part. Once, for me personally, once I landed the first job, I never had to formally apply to another job ever again. I simply just checked my LinkedIn and I was like, okay, cool. There's like 10 recruiters that reached out to me. Let me just follow up with these. And that's how I've gotten my last like 3 jobs, was from just checking my LinkedIn. But the challenge is landing that first job. That's where it's going to require a little bit of work. And that is where I'm kind of coming in to assist you with that, because I've been involved a lot now with the company that I work for on the hiring side to like run these interviews and things like that. And of course, I've went through the process myself. So I have a very good understanding of what these companies are looking for, the typical questions they're going to ask you in the interviews. So I can really help prepare you for that entire, getting through the hardest stage, essentially, of getting into cybersecurity. Fantastic.
I'm looking at some statistics right now. Let me pull them up real quick. I just want to show the audience at home. So if you guys are worrying, like, is this a fad? Is there anything like that? As you can see right here, choosing a career in cybersecurity gives you opportunity to grow and is an exciting field that has endless professional opportunities with meaningful purpose. The Bureau of Labor Statistics expects jobs from information security analysts to grow 32% from 2022 to 2032. And then also, if you want to be a tester, a quality assurance analyst, or even a developer, right, that they are projecting that to grow 25%. So this job isn't going anywhere anytime soon, correct?
Yeah, it's not. Even with AI, it's not going anywhere for sure.
This is
confidently
kind of like
say that.
Sorry, this is like an AI proof job to an extent?
Yeah, absolutely. AI, I mean, AI is gonna impact all industries for sure, but the way we're going to use it is it's mostly going to be AI assisted. So what that means is that, hey, the AI can help find some easy stuff for you so you can focus on the more critical stuff, but it will never be able to replace what we do as cybersecurity professionals. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what I try to tell the gentlemen who are watching at home. I say, like, look, even if you don't want to figure out dating, even if it's intimidating at first, at least get out there, develop a skill, get a skill set, and get on the job market and start being a man, start working, earning money. Because when you make money, you have a little bit of dignity compared to, like, if you're broke and you're getting rejected by girls, it's just like everything sucks. But if you're in shape, which is easy to do with just fasting, working out, and having a high protein diet, and then you have a good career, like, you're already light years ahead of the average guy. So even if you get rejected, right, you're just like, well, like, at least I'm fucking on like a great path to make some seriously good money. And moving forward, like, as long as you focus on career growth, like, eventually you will, the cream rises to the top. Eventually girls will start noticing you, and you'll have, like, you'll just have some dignity. You'll have some money. You'll have some savings. You'll have, like, some self-respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I think kind of going in line with what a lot of guys probably enjoy from watching your content, right, is the ability to do what you do and live in Japan and work from there. And with a career like cybersecurity, like I was saying earlier, it gives you so much more freedom and flexibility. So let's say your dating life is not where you want it to be yet. Well, if you get your money situation sorted and you can work from anywhere in the world, you could go to a place like Japan and learn game with women that are of a much higher quality than maybe where you're living right now, or whatever situation that you want, whatever women that you like. You can go to that place and you can have a cybersecurity career there working remotely while you're able to work on your game as well. So it really unlocks a lot of potentials in your life.
Yeah, a 10 out of 10. And dollar arbitrage, which is basically taking the US dollar, getting paid, and then going to these other countries and living there. You can live like a god if you're making like $5,000 a month in Tokyo. $5,000 US paid into your bank account, you can live very well in Tokyo. And that's first world Asia. If you want to go to Thailand, if you want to go to the Philippines, if you want to go to Vietnam, if you want to go to even Korea, South Korea, right? South Korea is really cheap too, because the won is like.
I will say that is something that surprised me, because everyone in the West talks about, oh, like Japan is so expensive, Tokyo is so expensive, but the dollar went really far there, I got to say.
Yeah, no, the yen is because, the Bank of Japan knows what's up. They're playing the game. So they're I mean, dude, in Japan, the banking here, and this is like a whole other conversation, but like the banking here, dude, sometimes they pay you to take a loan. So you have negative interest on the loan you take out because everybody here is dying. Like, there's a bunch of old people, young people aren't out here taking money and making loans. There's a guy that I'm friends with here. He built a building. He's 24. He built a building for $2 million and put a restaurant in it. He lives at the top, and this kid is fucking murdering the game. 24 years old, and the opportunity is so vast. But anything you need in life, you're gonna need a little bit of money to get things started, and that's not the world is unfair, nothing like that. That's man land. So for the guys who are like want to be passport bros too, like because a lot of these passport bros, they get a job making like $2,000 a month, and they eke their way by in these fucking countries. But I'm just telling you guys, why not just invest in yourself, do something a little bit hard, get on the fucking cybersecurity program, get on some kind of job that can pay you remotely, go travel the world, go explore, level up, go see higher quality women in better cultures and better countries. Really, you're without excuse, gentlemen at home. And this isn't like some gigantic sales pitch. Like, we're just clearly letting you know, like, these are opportunities and choices you have in life that are available to you. Because one thing, what happened with me with we launched the Passport Bro course, right? Everybody loved it. We have like 160 something plus people in that Telegram chat. But a lot of these guys, they want to know like how to make money abroad now. And I think what you're doing is seriously like, I don't know, it's fucking brain dead easy opinion a brain dead easy choice in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I mean, if you're going to go there, then why scrape by when if you put in a little bit of effort, you could be living like a king? I don't understand either. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's some questions in the chat, and then I want to bring some stuff up. So Feng's Young says, does cybersecurity hire women more than men? I'm asking because most jobs tend to hire women over men. Since cybersecurity is remote, I'm assuming women will flood that market because it is remote. You want to add on to that?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of women gravitate towards the career because it is kind of technical depending on what you do. I mean, maybe there's certain roles in cybersecurity that women are more likely to take, but especially with something that I do, for example, like that's really on the technical side, like I'm actually hacking into my company. A lot of women don't find that too interesting. A lot of the high paying, like really tough stuff, like let's just be honest, a lot of them don't find that interesting to learn. So I don't really see that in cybersecurity. I've worked with women before, certainly. Typically, they tend to not be the most technical people. So yeah, there's definitely a huge shortage of qualified people in this space. That is the biggest arbitrage opportunity here, is that if you know what you're doing, then you're amongst a pretty rare subset of the population.
Well, you say women aren't that technical. I don't know about that.
Cyber misogyny.
I don't know if we're gonna, but it's true. It's true.
On average, yeah. I mean, you have those outliers for sure. We have a woman on our team that is really technical and she is really good at the job. But yeah, that is definitely more of an outlier.
Yeah, I mean, it's just honest. It's just like common sense, really. Like, it's not like men are huddling around cybersecurity, like gatekeeping.
Like if I go to like a nail salon or something like that, there might be some guys that work there, but it's probably mostly women, right? Because they just gravitate towards that more.
Yeah, well, dudes that work at fucking nail salon. I don't know about that. Let's talk about China, okay? Because I think it's a lot of people don't really understand this, but China is like round the clock hacking businesses and America, like literally 24 hours a day.
Oh, yeah.
China is just hacking us. Yeah,
for sure. That's going to be like the new warfare nowadays, right? It basically already is the cyber warfare. So, I mean, if anything, even though that's unfortunate for us as a country, I mean, that's only going to make cybersecurity more prevalent, bigger, and more important to these companies, to the government. There's going to be more jobs. So even though it's unfortunate when you see, like, for example, the MGM hack, right, in Las Vegas this year, for one thing, right? Well, after that, what happens? Those companies start hiring like in mass. So every time these things happen, even though it's bad, it also means that these companies are going to start taking cybersecurity more serious. There's going to be more job opportunities out there. And so that just goes to show how this isn't going away. I mean, we're in the thick of it right now. Like, companies are going to keep hiring.
So can you tell me, I'm not too familiar with the MGM hack. What happened?
So the MGM hotel in Las Vegas, they got hacked. All of their systems went down for like several days. It was like a really big thing several months ago. Yeah.
What went down?
So I'm not too well versed on the situation, but essentially some hackers went in and got control of the systems. And basically, I think it was a ransomware attack or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, where, they got control of their systems and shut everything down until they paid the ransom. And it was down for multiple days. So like no one could even use the hotel or anything like that. Obviously, it was like a catastrophe for the hotel.
Wow. Yeah. A lot of, this is a thing. Was it China? Was it confirmed it was China?
I'm actually not sure, but it could have been. I would have to double check on that.
We need a Jamie pull that up, guy. We're going to get one soon.
Look that one up.
I'm looking it up right now in the meantime. Because here's the thing, right? Oh, Jesus. Looks like they lost $100 million.
Yep.
Wow. So, yeah, and it looks like they refused to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a group known as Scattered Spider. So what they end up doing? There's a couple things that's happening out there. So these companies, they'll get hacked by a group of hackers and or Chinese hackers, and they'll be like, okay, we're gonna restore your shit, but you have to send us a payment, and typically Bitcoin. Like
typically,
you have to pay us in Bitcoin, or we're not gonna fucking restore your shit. And I know people personally who have had their businesses hacked, and it was held ransom by these Chinese fucking hackers. And then a lot of these guys, they just, they fucking, they have to pay. They have to pay. But if they have a good system and they have a good team of cybersecurity experts, I mean, you can literally, if you're good at your job, people will find you. And that's one thing about like cybersecurity that I think is so good, because a lot of guys, like, they have a scarcity mindset with jobs, because they're working these dead end jobs. They're working at fucking restaurants. They're working at warehouses. They're doing bullshit jobs. And trust me, I know, because I have done those. I have worked at warehouses. I have worked at fucking landscaping. I've been fucking slave in a restaurant. And the thing is, when you get these high quality skills, it's just like what you said, like you become the chosen, because these people on LinkedIn are like, hey, come work for us. Hey, come work for us. You're in demand. There's no job scarcity or any you're probably set for life financially, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like you were saying, having that experience is what puts me in that position. So that is one thing that I've been really working on this year, because much like you, I'm always looking to improve my programs and things like that every year, and see like, how can we improve the success rate of the guys that even though we've gotten some guys jobs, how can I improve upon that? So one of the things actually that I've been looking to incorporate in this coming year is guaranteeing job experience for the guys that go through my program. So what I'm going to do going forward is I'm going to actually contract some of the guys that are job ready, some of the guys that went through my program, they've learned the material and they're ready for jobs. I'm actually going to contract them to do a security test on my infrastructure. So that way they can put that on their resume to say, hey, I have actual experience in cybersecurity before they even land that job. Because if you could do something like that, then that's better than any certification that you could possibly have. Job experience is the number one thing. Yeah. So doing something like that, that's the biggest issue, is that there's so many people trying to get into cybersecurity with basically the same credentials on their resume. And let me just say, those credentials typically don't include job experience. So yeah, that is like one of the number one things.
A lot of people will be thinking like, oh, well, the job market is flooded and I won't get a job. Is that the case at all in cybersecurity?
So in cybersecurity, here's the thing. In cybersecurity, it is a little bit oversaturated at the entry level. You have so many people that are trying to get into the space, like I said, with the same credentials on the resume. This is another reason that I created Elevate Cyber, is because landing that first job is the hardest thing in the entire process. And I went and I learned it on my own, but it was in a different time. It was like 5-6 years ago now that I learned this stuff on my own and I landed a job. It's getting harder and harder. In fact, I was at a conference a couple weeks ago, and there was a CISO, which is the Chief Information Security Officer. So basically the person over an entire cybersecurity operation. And what they were saying was that cybersecurity teams, her quote exactly was like, cybersecurity teams are not looking for entry-level talent. And I think that kind of paints the picture. So I feel like today, if you want to get into cybersecurity, there's such a massive shortage, but the shortage is out of the people that have actual experience in cybersecurity. So I would say today, it's not enough to just think that, oh, I'm just going to go and learn this stuff on my own. That's like a huge coin flip. You want to learn from a mentor, someone that's in cybersecurity. You want to find a way to gain experience before you even apply to these jobs, because if you don't, you're basically throwing yourself in a lottery of hundreds of people that are also applying to that job, and you're hoping that you can be the first pick out of like several hundred people. So it's not enough just to be entry level. You need to develop a skill set that other people don't have. So that's what my program is centered around, really.
I love it. Yeah, and I just think that I think it truly is it appears to be oversaturated, but it really is not. But
Exactly.
it's oversaturated with idiots, like people who are
Right.
like, oh, I took a fucking coding boot camp and I have this
Mhm.
certificate, and like my fucking resume looks like dog shit, and I'm just gonna
Well,
spam
going
my
back to
resume.
how you said at the beginning that college is a scam, that's one of the problems of why so many people are incompetent. It's like, how did they end up in these jobs? They have the college degree. That's how they're in the job, right? So
Mm.
it's like there's a lot of people that they have the degree and stuff like that. Maybe they even have their masters, but here's the thing: they have no fucking clue what they're doing.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and it's a big difference when you have somebody as your mentor. Tom G sent a $5 super chat, says, I'm from Ryan's group, got my first job coming out of the military at
Yeah, he's been
85K.
crushing it, man.
Next
Yeah,
salary goal
Tom's
is
been
1
crushing
point.
it.
How old is Tom?
I'm not actually sure. How old are you, Tom?
Tom, let us know. Next salary goal is $120,000 a year. 2 years from now, probably can get that sooner.
Let me just say, this guy Tom, he's been getting a certification every single month. He's in the military, like you said, so they pay for your certs, right? So he was going hard. He was getting like every cert under the sun, like month after month, and yeah, he crushed it. He got his first job in cybersecurity, and yeah, that guy's gonna be crushing it even more in a year from now.
Oh yeah, and he says right here he's 27 years old.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I mean, if you're making, let's just pull up because everybody wants to get some booty, right? Let's pull up the female delusion calculator and let's just see where does that put you in the global standard. So okay, let's go to female delusion calculator. Let's say your age. Let's say you get in. Let's say 20. Let's use Tom as an example. We'll put 27. Actually, we'll make it older, so he actually has a harder problem. So 27 to 32, exclude married. Let's just say any race, and let's just say he's the average height of the American guy, 5'9", excluded beast, and he's making $85,000 a year. Right there, you're in the top 2% of all men in the 27 to 32 range. And then, if you just go back, let's say in 2 years, Tom will be making 120.
Oh damn, he's 6'1" on top of that.
And he's 6'1". Oh, save some pussy for the rest of us, Tom. So let's go to min 120. So now you're in the top 0.72%. And let's go back. Let's humor Tom since he's doing the work. Let's put him at the minimum height of 6'1". Tom, you're in the
game
top
over
0.1%. And then currently, Tom, let's find out where you are. Currently at 85K, you are in top 0.4. So good stuff. I think one thing I want to tell you guys, so if you have like an entrepreneurial and kind of like hustler spirit about you, one great thing about cybersecurity is the bounties, right? Have you participated in bounties? Have you collected a bounty?
It's not really my thing personally, but I mean, there's a ton of money to be made in that area for sure.
Mm-hmm. Explain to the people what a bounty is in the cybersecurity land.
Yeah, so basically bounties are companies can essentially open up their basically allow anyone to try to hack them. They say what's in scope, like, hey, this is in scope, this is out of scope. And you basically try to hack like maybe their websites or whatever it is. And if you can find a security issue on it, you can report it to them so that they can fix it and they can actually pay you money. And a lot of this stuff, we're not talking like chump change here either. A lot of this stuff is like several thousands of dollars. If you guys are into the cryptocurrency space, that's where it gets ridiculous. You can have like multi-million dollar bounties. Actually, it's absolutely insane. There's a site called Immunify, John. It's called Immunify. Let me see. Yeah, Immunify. That is the bug bounty program for the Web3, for the blockchain stuff. If you want to pull that up, look at the bounties on that. That will blow your mind.
Immunify.com or?
Yes, sir.
I got a domain name. It says the domain's for sale.
Wait here. Maybe I can link it to you.
Just drop me the private chat. So yeah, what a bounty is pretty simple. So a company says basically, okay, hack me, hack my website, hack my payment processor, whatever. And if you successfully hack us, we're going to pay you money because you found a hole in our security system. And there's people who just do this for a living. Like just all they do is hunt bounties.
And the reason they're willing to pay so much is, even though you might think, oh, wow, I'm getting so much money for that. But if a hacker were to find that, it would cost them so much more. So they're willing to pay a lot of money. Yeah, I just linked it to you on Telegram, John.
Okay, got you. Oh, cool. Let's pull this up real quick. All right, Immunify. Okay, so this is the website right here. So bounties paid out is $85 million. 157 $157 million in bounties. And then, yeah, like we just said, $25 billion in hack damage averted.
See, that's how much it would have cost, and they only paid $85 million out of that. So think about the arbitrage from their perspective. Yeah.
So this is a list. Look at this. Max bounty here is $1 million. This one here is $2.5 million. Look, this is insane, bro.
That's for a single finding if it's critical enough, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you can just like wake up, like take a fucking shitload of caffeine pills and just like fucking hack the shit out of this. I mean, yeah, if you get a team of hackers under you as well, like just say you get a team of 5 guys, you're all 5 and you decide to like hack reserve.
Yeah, I mean, you can team up on it too. Yeah. And the reason that especially the Web3 stuff pays so much money is you think about a hack in the blockchain world, right? It's like they get hacked. A lot of these projects are just done, right? So they're willing to pay a shit ton of money so that doesn't happen. Yeah.
Dude, for me, I mean, as a cryptocurrency, expert and investor, like the moment that I hear a cryptocurrency gets hacked, I'm out. Like blacklist. I don't buy it. I'm not buying it. I'm never buy it again. I stay fucking clear of that project because that just is a gigantic like red flag that I just
that's really smart too, because here's the thing about software in general, right? If someone finds a certain security flaw in something, maybe they fix it, right? But here's the thing, that could be somewhere else in their code as well, right? A lot of times these issues get fixed, but their code base is massive, right? So if that mistake was made in one place, it's probably made in other places too. They might not have looked there. So that's why it is a red flag if they get hacked and it's like a serious thing, because they have to do their due diligence to track that down everywhere. And a lot of times that doesn't happen. So that vulnerability could be in more places.
Our buddy Anoop here just says, a friend of mine recently made $25,000 for reporting a 0-day. What's a 0-day?
A 0-day is basically a vulnerability, so a security issue that exists out there that has not been publicly made available. So like a malicious hacker, a black hat hacker, as we call it, they know about all of these hacks that have not been disclosed to the vendors and disclosed publicly. So if you find a 0-day, then you can report that to the company so they can fix it. And they're willing to pay a lot of money because they didn't know that existed. And who knows how long that's been out there, right? That the hackers knew about it and they didn't. So yeah.
That's fantastic. Let me ask you about your daily life, your daily work. So one of my guys in my private VIP coaching, he's I think he's 30. He just turned 35, and he's a cybersecurity expert. He is making $210,000 a year, plus he got like 6-figure in incentive, stock options, and all this shit. He just lives a very calm, humble life, and he's not out here like popping bottles and VIP and shit. And he was telling me that he is working. Every week he's working about 5 to 15 hours a week, fully remote. How much are you working a week right now with your 9-to-5 job?
It's around the same, I would say. Yeah.
5 hours a week?
Yeah. 5 about, yeah. 5 or more.
So what about 40 hours, like intensively working? Is that?
I've never done that in my career. Now, here's the thing though, too, right? It kind of depends on what you do. This is why I love the offensive side. The offensive side is more of a proactive role. if you work on the defensive side, it's more reactive, right? You're not in control when the hackers roll in and try to hack your company, right? That's not in your control. So on the defensive side, it can be a little bit more of a time commitment thing, right? They might choose to attack you at 4 a.m. and then they need people on deck. They might attack over a holiday or something like that. But because I'm on the offensive side, I'm proactively trying to hack into my company. So I'm never on call. I'm never on the clock like that. So as long as I'm getting my work done, and actually I've had multiple bosses tell me this, like these exact words. What they usually say is something along the lines of, hey, I'm never going to be looking for you at 3 p.m. wondering where you are. As long as you're getting your work done, I don't really care.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of like the future, because the 9 to 5 thing is kind of like a boomer thing anyways. So I just think it's more, we're kind of entering an economy. Yeah. If you get the skills where they're just like, just do this job, we'll pay you a boatload of money, but just fucking do your job. Please give us 5 to 15 hours a week.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing too. The skill is the reason that you're able to get away with that, right? It is because you have a skill that very few people have. So it's not like it's not for free. It's like I developed my skill set here to this point, and now I've noticed that in my career as well, as I've moved up to the higher caliber jobs, along with that comes more freedom and things like that as well. So if you develop this skill set, then you're going to have most likely a lot more freedom than you have in your current job.
Man, that's fantastic. I want to pull up something real quick, because I think so. This is full on, I'll probably do a little episode on this later, but I think, here, should I pull up the whiteboard? Let me see. Actually, so this is my theory moving forward, but I want to play a clip real quick while I set up my iPad, because I think this is something that was kind of swept under the news cycle recently, but this was on Fox News the other day, and this is connected to what we're talking about right here. Okay, so this is on X, America Under Attack. China hackers infiltrate key U.S. services and power grids. Just take a look at this at home real quick, guys, and understand that this is not just a fad. This is something that is becoming increasingly needed in our economy and our culture.
Post reveals hackers affiliated with China's People's Liberation Army have infiltrated critical services here in the U.S.
Alexandra Hoff joins us now from our nation's capital. Alex, this is not good.
No, it's not. I mean, this infiltration appears to be part of a broader effort to insert chaos into our logistical systems. The information collected could then be weaponized if the U.S. and China were to become engaged directly in the Pacific. According to reporting from the Washington Post citing multiple U.S. and industry security officials, China's cyber army is invading critical U.S. services, like an attempt to break into the system behind Texas's independent power grid. Other victims include a water utility in Hawaii, a West Coast port, and at least one oil and gas pipeline, according to that report you're seeing there. Brendan Wells, executive director of the Department of Homeland Security Cybersecurity Agency, told the Washington Post this, quote, "It is very clear that Chinese attempts to compromise critical infrastructure are in part to pre-position themselves to be able to disrupt or destroy that critical infrastructure in the event of a conflict, to either prevent the United States from being able to project power into Asia or to cause societal chaos inside the United States to affect our decision-making around a crisis." The report notes that over the past year, hackers affiliated with the People's Liberation Army in China have accessed the computer systems of about 24 critical entities.
Jesus Christ. So, I mean, if you just look at this is a real threat out there. But if you can be a person that is actually part of the solution, I mean, you'll be paid handsomely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, if this is happening to our country, how serious do you think they're taking cybersecurity, right? Like, how many jobs do you think are going to be created just off that one news article, like news clip, right? So that's the other part of it as well. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. And here's the thing as well. A lot of people from the outside, and I'm sure Tom could vouch for this as well, now that he's in cybersecurity, a lot of people from the outside, they look at something like, say, the government or these companies, like these big companies that everyone knows the name of, right? And they assume like, wow, that's such a big company or such a big entity. They must be so secure. But then if you were to go to that company and you actually security test their stuff, you would find that like, wow, there's actually a lot of security issues everywhere. And it's actually a lot more hackable than you would ever imagine.
Oh, yeah. And then, with America, like prioritizing, like, fucking, education is shit that doesn't matter, like LGBT shit and hate yourself if you're white, or like, you got to support open borders. Like people are wasting their resources and mind and time on this stupid shit that doesn't matter, and the stuff that does matter is kind of being left unlooked at. So if you can actually be a person who says, you know what, fuck this, I'm going to get into this industry. There's a 10-year projected 32% growth. I'm just going to become a master at this. You literally never have to worry about money for the rest of your life. Like, I mean, like I said, getting upwards of a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year job, it's not out of the game plan, right?
Yeah, and much like game, right? It's a skill that once you develop it, it can never be taken away from you. So
check this out. So this is my theory of what I think is going to happen next. Now, this is full blown conspiracy theory. Okay, so I'm just gonna whiteboard it real quick. Okay, so obviously 2020, what did we have? Right, we had the old C-19 thing. Okay, and what did this do? Now, C-19 was 100% perpetuated by China. Let's just be 1,000% honest with this shit. When everybody saw that one fucking Chinese dude like face plant and die in the street, everybody's like, okay, wait a minute. Like, this could be real. So what did this do? This caused people to lock down, and then so many services ended up going online. Remote work became a thing, right? So you have online work, and then also you have things like the birth of OF and stuff, right? OF work was online. And what this did was this right here, this pushed so many people, companies, everything online. So now we have a large portion of our economy and our system completely online. Now, if you watch the World Economic Forum and what they've been saying, the World Economic Forum has been predicting a cyber attack. They call it a cyber pandemic and a cyber virus. So if I were to go full blown Alex Jones, right, then I would say that the next thing, because in 2024, something's going to happen because they're going to try and scam, the big event in 2024. And I personally think there's going to be a cyber attack. And I think that people are going to, there's going to be a lot of shit that's going to happen. I think this is obviously theory, but I would not be surprised if a cyber attack happened, because now with people online, what happens to everybody? Everybody is now separated. Okay. And everybody's super dependent on tech. Everybody's getting food from Uber Eats. Everybody's getting, driven around by Uber. Like, we are so unfairly exposed in how much of
Here's the thing as well, right? When these companies in 2020 were forced to move online, and they either did that or their business was dead, let's be honest, right? Do you think when they moved to migrate all the stuff online that they did that very carefully and very securely? Or do you think that they did that very quickly just so they can keep their business afloat, right?
Oh, so for sure.
There's probably a lot of vulnerabilities out there for that, like a lot of security issues, because they set up things like in the cloud or whatever, and they didn't have a solid understanding of how to do that securely. So that's kind of the after effect of that as well.
And this is the next attack too. And then if you want to really go full blown conspiracy theory, like I said, the Obamas just put out a movie about an EMP and a cyber attack that, crushed the fucking the power grids and stuff in America. And I know this sounds like out of left field, but I've been thinking about this a lot, and especially when Klaus Schwab is coming out, the World Economic Forum is coming out, and they're saying there is they call it, it's so retarded, but people are retarded. They can believe it. They call it the cyber pandemic. They're like, the next thing is coming is the cyber pandemic when everything goes offline. So this is a very real threat out there. But if you can be part of the solution, I mean, the people that matter, they will find you. Like, you will be able to make a lot of money off of this. And I just think that if you're a guy at home and you're struggling and you're just trying to get ahead in life, this is not hard to do. Like, what does somebody need to get started in cybersecurity, Ryan?
In terms of technical, non-technical, what are you asking?
Do they need a computer? Do they need technical skills? Do they need a college degree? Do they need a high school degree?
Right. Yeah. So, just to really simplify it, I would say you need any kind of computer. Nowadays, all the training that I provide is available on the cloud. So even if your computer is super slow or whatever, it won't matter. So any computer, you just need a computer, really. You need first of all, you need the the right mindset, right? You want to be consistently showing up. This is the only person the program does not work for, is people that stop showing up, right? I will give you the roadmap. I will give you everything that you could possibly need to succeed in the field. But the only thing that I can't do is do the work for you. So I will provide all of that. But if you don't show up, then you won't actually get there. Let's be honest. So you need that as well. And then beyond that, I would say if you have, let's say you have about an hour a day to put to this, then that's really all you need.
Really? 1 hour a day. So 7 hours a week.
Yeah. 7 hours a week.
And then what is give me a worst case scenario timeline for somebody. Cause you said you're getting people jobs on average. They are signing employment contracts on the 8th month, right?
Yep. I mean, we did have a guy kind of speed run it in 6 months, but yeah, on the average,
speed run.
And here's the thing about this guy, by the way, this guy that did it in 6 months. So one of the things that I do in my program is I have everyone write a report at the end. So each course will be around a different topic in cybersecurity. And a big part of what I do on the job is, right after I hack into the stuff, I write a report and I send it to them so they can see, okay, this is the outcome of the test. This is what he was able to find, and this is what I need to fix, right? So if you think about it, that is actually the product that I produce as a offensive security specialist, right? Now, the thing is, no one wants to write a report because that's boring. The hacking is the sexy part. Report writing is boring, right? No one wants to do that. So no one does do that. So if you actually have these on hand, it can be very powerful for your portfolio. We've had a guy, the guy that speed ran it in 6 months, he was actually interviewing because he majored in computer science. So he was interviewing for a software developer position. And while he was in the interview, he let him know, he's like, hey, I know this is a software development position that you guys are hiring for, but what I'm really passionate about is cybersecurity. And I've actually, took a course, I wrote a report and all that. And they're like, oh, really? Well, could you send it over to us? We'd love to take a look at it. And this is a report that I had been helping him with get really professionally polished. Because let me say, when pretty much everyone, when they write their first report, there's so many mistakes that they make. And I've seen thousands of these reports through my job. So I can very quickly pinpoint what makes a professional report versus your amateur report, right? So I had helped them with this to get it looking really polished. And he sent it to them and they were so impressed with it that they came back to him and they're like, even though we were looking for a software developer, we actually have an opening on our cybersecurity team and we'd like to offer you a position there. So he was able to get a job directly in cybersecurity after only 6 months. But on on average, I would say 8 to 12 months is the most common range that I see people become job ready through the training.
That's still light years better. Because real quick, let's ask the point that matters. 6 months, what was the starting salary?
80,000.
Fucking Christ. Easiest money you'll make this entire fucking life. Now, what is the traditional route, the boomer route, to become a cybersecurity guy?
Oh yeah, there's a few. And this is how I equate it. Look, there's so many different ways that you can get into cybersecurity. Just this is my favorite analogy for this, right? It's if I wanted to fly from New York to LA, there's many ways I could do that, right? The most logical route is I just fly west. But a lot of people, they don't want to do that. No, they want to fly east. They want to go across the Atlantic, across Europe, across Asia, across the Pacific. Eventually they could get to LA if they keep flying. But that is the route that I would equate to if you go to, this is the most boomer route, right? You go to college and then you go to IT. And then maybe you get into cybersecurity. That for that whole process, you're looking about, let's say 6 years or so. The other common route is if you don't go to college, you start at the help desk, you work there a couple of years, then you go into IT, and then you go into cybersecurity. That's still taking you probably at least 4 to 5 years.
That's fucking insane. And then what would you say is the average student loan debt for those programs?
Oh, for college?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let me just tell you, I went the traditional route. So this is not speculation. And it was I have the bill somewhere. I need to pull it up so I can show you guys, to actually show you for real. But it was 300,000. I went out of state for 5 years because I changed my major halfway through.
$300,000 fucking dollars?
That's right.
What college did you go to?
I went to Penn State. Yeah, I went to Penn State out of state. And it was 5 years. And I remember going back to how bad these advisors are. I was changing my major late in the thing, and it was so stupid. They required you to take some internship just to graduate. So even though I landed a job, they're like, oh, well, you need an internship first. So basically I worked it out with my company where they're like, look, we'll just sign it off and say you took an internship here, even though you have a job. So they're like, don't worry about it. But before that, I was talking to my advisor about this problem. I'm like, look, I landed a job. I can't fulfill this. He's like, well, if you have to stay another year, maybe your parents will be upset, but if you have to, then you have to. It was so stupid. And he was like, well, you know, maybe you won't work for the big companies of the world and you'll just work for the small ones, but that's okay. But then I end up working for like multiple Fortune 100 companies, US government and all of that. So like these guys have no idea what they're talking about. But yeah, it was over 300,000 at one point.
Dude, yeah, fucking Christ, man.
But hey, thanks to cybersecurity, I'm happy to say I don't have that anymore. But yeah, that's what it was at one time.
And it's, you're normal. You paid off the fucking 300 grand. I'm gonna give you a Final Fantasy 7 on that one. God damn. I came out with 30 grand and I have a useless
10x to you.
I have a fucking useless psychology degree. Jesus.
Yeah, imagine if I went for psychology or something. God damn.
Oh my God, that's insane. Cougs Johnson here says, MLD, I've been in cybersecurity for 13 years and I wish people talked about this more about this. I've tried to educate younger guys on what to do and to get into our industry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when I first started meeting up with Ryan here and started talking about what he was doing, and I just couldn't even fucking believe like the industry and it's all of like the opportunity available. So let me ask you this. What's your goal? Like, are you just going to try to entrepreneur your way to the top? Because like, you know, you do what I say. Like I tell people, you know, I tell guys now, if you want to be on like the high value man plan, like get your first job, and your first job should at least get you to $100,000 a year. And then your side hustle should be something that can get you to $1 million a year. You're clearly on that path. I personally think you're going to become a millionaire. And what's your goal? Like, what are you going to do with cybersecurity moving forward?
Yeah, that's the nice thing is you have a lot of options when you have a really high value skill set. So my plan essentially is, like I was saying earlier, it's all about acquiring as much freedom as I can in my life. So eventually I'm going to move away from the 9 to 5 and do this full time and basically travel around the world and stuff like that, teaching people cybersecurity. So that's kind of the plan moving forward.
And I was going to show you guys, because everybody wants receipts in this receipt culture. So I'm going to show you guys, if you go to my Instagram, Hot Dude Life, and you look at this photo right here, it's towards the very, very beginning.
Oh, yeah. 2019.
There's Ryan right there. This is us in Phoenix, Arizona. You can see Myron Gaines is right there. There's me at the top. And then this is Ryan from Hypnosis for Men. He has a big brand. Ryan Fowler has a gigantic brand. You're killing it. Just amazing to see everything that you've been able to pull off, man. I'm so fucking proud of you. Moving forward, you know, we got you giving the presentation at the Masculine Empowerment Network, where you're going to show guys exactly what they need to do to get on this path and to seriously make some. It's life-changing money. It is life fucking changing money. You know. Yeah. One more thing here. Cougs Johnson says it took me about 6 years to get to 6 figures, which is typical. But we have a couple of young guys that's 22 making 6 figures that are super talented. How long did it take you to get to 6 figures?
About a little over a year from when I started. Yeah. So I started in IT because I went the traditional route. Like I was saying, I went to college. So, hey, what does that mean? I went to college, right? 5 years, $300K in debt. And on top of that, I couldn't even start in cybersecurity because I didn't have the skill set. So I had to go and learn on my own anyways, right? So why not just learn the skills that you need in the first place, right? That's why another reason why the college route doesn't make sense. But yeah, after working for a little over a year, I think it was I think it was only 11 months, to be honest with you. I was able to make a lateral movement over into the cybersecurity team, and I upped my salary to $100,000.
Man, this is crazy. This is good. So you got the chat asking, they're blowing up the questions left and right. So I'll just tell you guys real quick. Okay. Like I said, this is not a game. This is not some online internet try hard party. Okay. This is actual real life success. You're seeing it live here. This guy joined the program in Q3 of 2019 and he's being able to make himself like a gigantically successful brand. You're still in like the infancy of your entrepreneurship journey as well. And if you guys want to find out more, like I said, this upcoming year is the year that you can turn your entire life around. Okay. So don't waste any time. Ryan is going to be giving a presentation at the Masculine Empowerment Network on January 15th. It's a 6-figure remote job in cybersecurity. He's been with me since the very beginning, and he is just not slowing down. His sales are going up every year. More and more people are getting into this industry. The industry is not flooded, but it is flooded with idiots who don't know what they're talking about. So come here, talk to a guy who has done the work, and he's living the life that you want. He's got a fucking gorgeous girlfriend, one-sided open relationship. He can do whatever he wants. He's completely remote. He's making he's making, you know, he's not making $100,000 a year. He's making 3 times that with his side hustle and also his 9-to-5 job. He's going to keep on escalating up. He's going to hit $1 million a year. And then you're going to be looking back on this thinking like, oh, I should have done it. I should have done it. I should have done it. But I'm telling you right now, we can help you. I mean, can you just talk about the level of help and detail? Like, because a lot of people think you're just going to sign up for a course. We're going to play you a recording, and then you're just going to have to figure it out. Can you tell them like how in your face and how in depth the coaching is? With
that's a really good point, because a lot of the cybersecurity courses out there are just like, hey, here's these videos, go and watch them and learn. But my program is much different from that. So it's a full mentorship program. So if you guys have ever been a part of any of John's courses or anything like that, it's kind of similar format where we are live on a Zoom call and I'm teaching you the concepts in cybersecurity. You also have a lab environment where you can practice this stuff. There's recordings in case you want to watch anything back later, but we also have weekly calls as well where you have a bit of like a one-on-one time with me where we can talk and I can make sure that I can basically give you the peace of mind that what you're working on is the best thing that you could be focusing on right now. Because everyone is coming from a different background. I mean, probably out of all the people watching here, there's so many people that have different backgrounds. Maybe you have an IT background. Maybe you don't at all, right? Maybe you're like a truck driver or something like that. We've had those in the program that went through the program and had success. So wherever you're at, I'm going to give you very targeted advice for you, which is way more than I could do on like my YouTube channel or something like that, where I have to give advice to a general audience. So you get very direct mentorship in that regard. And we also, for the guys that are going through the program right now that are job ready, one of the things that I'm doing with them is the full career development package, right? Helping them with their resume, actually giving them feedback on their interviews. We've done quite a few of those where I listen back and I say, okay, this is how I would have answered this question differently. And also gives me insight into what we need to work on to really optimize that, the pathway forward for you. And we've done some mock interviews and things like that as well. But like I said, a big key addition that I'm going to be adding in this coming year is I am going to be guaranteeing job experience for everyone that goes through the program. So that's going to be one of the biggest values, because like I said, if you can put job experience on your resume, you're going to stand out from like 99% of other applicants out there. They don't have that, straight up.
Yeah. I mean, the fastest way to get what you want is to go to somebody who already has it. And that's what you have here with your tremendously successful brand. Maher Sukar says, Ryan is really helpful. He gave me feedback on my net pen testing report. He also responds really quickly. He makes the material easy to learn.
Maher is crushing it. Yeah. He's been doing a really good job. Yeah.
So I want to add one more thing, because I know some guys, they may not come from like a really, like pristine. I come from like a perfect white family and my life is amazing. Like they come from a little bit of a rough background. They may have like a complex, like, well, maybe because I'm this skin color, I come from this background, or I'm black, or I'm Mexican, or I'm 40, or I'm 50, or whatever. There might be a lot of guys with hangups in their mind about doing this. Could you just add some reassurance to them? Because it really doesn't fucking matter. All you got to do is just show up and do the work, right?
I mean, I will say, like, out of all the things you mentioned just now, we have guys like that in the group that have been successful, right? We had like people that were, we had a 50-year-old guy in there that was doing pretty well. And we had guys with no technical background whatsoever, every color you can imagine. So, yeah. So I would say the biggest thing, really, all of that is if you think about your stats in a video game, it's kind of like that, right? It's like, what's your starting point, right? If you keep showing up, that stuff matters less and less every day you show up, right? So if you just keep showing up, and I mean, you're proof of that as well, like how you clawed your way to where you are. Maybe you didn't get the best roll of the dice to start with, but when you keep showing up, that matters less and less till eventually it's irrelevant.
Consistency is undefeated, my friends at home. So listen, guys, again, if you want to be part of this, start off your 2024 right. Get a fucking 6-figure job in 2025. The time is going to pass regardless. You could sit there in inaction, or you can take action and turn your life around. This guy is a proud graduate of the Masculine Empowerment Network and a great friend of mine. He is literally on the way to become a millionaire. And it all started 2019, networking with us, figuring out his dating life, mastered that. And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to become a millionaire. And here we are. So if you want receipts, it's right here with this man, his YouTube channel and everything. So if you want to be part of this, if you want to turn your life around, I assure you we can help. Go to the masculineempowermentnetwork.com, get on the email address right now, scan the QR code, because we're starting enrollment on December 28th. And this train is not stopping. Like, even if you don't sign up, me and Ryan, we're going to keep pushing forward. And for the men that do sign up, we're going to pour our entire lives into these men and help change their lives and help get some money, get some confidence, get some dignity about yourself, have some self-respect, have some savings, have a budget, have a financial plan, be a man worthy of getting the woman that you want, or the dream that you want, or maybe you just want, you're tired of struggling financially. What are you waiting for? Because you are out of time. You have no time to spare, guys. You guys that think you have time, you don't have time. Nobody has time. We are all heading to that black infinite death. So in the meantime, get paid, live your dream life, level up, and then make the best out of your time on this planet before we all say goodbye. Speaking of that, we're going to say goodbye now. Ryan, do you have anything you'd like to close with?
Oh, yeah, I saw a few things in the chat. Someone was asking if it's for Canadians as well. And I'll say, yeah, it's for anyone, anywhere. So anyone can sign up. Anyone can join the program. I think there was another question. Some guy asking about clearance from security clearance or something like that. Yeah, that can be very helpful, especially in like government jobs and stuff like that. Because if you think about it, it's lower cost to them. You already have the clearance. They don't have to pay and sponsor you for that and everything. So yeah, that could be a great advantage. But aside from that, guys, yeah, thanks for attending today. And I would say that, yeah, no matter where you're at right now, you have to take the first step if you want to improve your life. That was the big thing for me. I was on the fence. I was an on the fence guy as well before I joined in 2019. And I'm very glad to say that I did take that first step. So it all starts with the first step for sure.
Good stuff, man. So get in there. Until then, guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Peace out.